Hola mi amigos, CJ Curry back with another NBA player prop video. We're going to be covering the 2-game NBA slate on Monday. Got a few different picks that we're going to be taking a look at, so if you're new to the channel here and haven't subscribed yet, got to get subscribed. It's free for you to do. There's really no reason why you shouldn't be subscribed. And then turn those notifications on by ringing that bell so that anytime I drop a new video here on the channel, you're alerted immediately. You're not left out in the cold. You don't want to be left out in the cold. I just want to say a special thank you to everybody who slapped the like button in the last video. We went well over 150 likes. We actually went over 200 likes. I would love it again if we could at least get 150, but if we go over 200, man, that'd be big business, and I appreciate each and every one of you for doing that. Now, we got to pick somebody from the comment sections from the last video. Obviously, I've been giving away a free month of Dub Club every day to somebody from the comment section who comments their favorite player prop of the day, who is subscribed and hit the like button as well. And basically, if you comment your favorite player prop, I randomly select it, and then that player prop ends up being a winning player prop, then you'll win a free month of Dub Club, just like this person. It's Dame Time 2X. Congratulations to you. You're the winner from the last video. Your comment was Derrick White of the Boston Celtics to have more than 13.5 points. Derrick White went for 30 points, gang. He went off on my Orlando Magic. Derrick White carried the Boston Celtics in that game 1 versus Orlando. So congratulations to you. That was a winning pick, so it pays to read the comments sometimes. Sometimes when you guys comment these player props down in the comment section below, other people may see your comments and they may tell your picks and they may end up winning because of your comments. So I appreciate It's Dame Time 2X. So now all you got to do is go to the description of the video, click the free Discord link. Once you join our Discord, shoot me a DM and I will shoot you back a free 30-day Dub Club link to get you access to all the picks, plays, and parlays that myself and other community members are sharing each day. So congratulations to you. All right, moving on to today's picks. Of course, I play on PrizePicks, but some of you guys out there may not have access to PrizePicks. Some of you guys might like playing on a sports book better. Whatever is your cup of tea, feel free to do so. But PrizePicks is still doing that promotion where you make your first deposit, play your first $5. Whether you win or lose on that $5, they're going to give you $50 back. So it's a great time to join PrizePicks if you're not already on board. Let's get into this first pick. It's going to be Aaron Gordon of the Denver Nuggets. I'm looking at him for more than 5 rebounds. He's been hitting this at a pretty high clip recently and in head-to-heads versus the Los Angeles Clippers. And of course, it is projecting well on multiple NBA projection models. So let's look at this one a little bit closer, put it under the microscope, so to speak. Heading over to the RotoWire projection tools. If you take a look at Aaron Gordon over there, there's going to be a number of different ways that you can play his props today. Most of the RotoWire projections or suggestions are leaning toward the over on Aaron Gordon. In fact, you don't see any Aaron Gordon props that are leaning less here. He's been playing a lot better lately. He's finally looking 100% healthy. But yeah, he's been putting up some pretty big numbers. So anything that is Aaron Gordon related, fantasy score, rebounds and assists, rebounds, points and rebounds and points, all of these are available on PrizePicks right now. They're all kind of lean over options. But we're looking at the rebounds more specifically. So take a look here. 7.3 is his projected rebound total according to the proprietary RotoWire NBA player prop projection models. So 7.3 versus 5, that's obviously a difference of more than 2 rebounds when you compare their projections versus the line on PrizePicks. If we continue to scroll down here, they also show you some nice little lovely hit rate charts. Aaron Gordon, for the most part, pretty decent this season. 54% of the games that he's appeared in, he's had at least 5 rebounds or more, but it's the games at home where he's really excelled. He's had 5 or more rebounds in his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of his last 10 games played at home. And you can see the matchup against the Los Angeles Clippers head-to-head over the last 2 seasons. Pretty much anytime he plays the Clippers, he's pretty good at getting at least 5 rebounds. In some of these games, he's had 6. And in the most recent game, a couple days ago, he had 8 rebounds versus the Los Angeles Clippers. So 5 or more boards in 6 out of the last 7 head-to-heads versus the Clippers. That's an 86% hit rate. Right around a 5.3 rebounds per game average against the Clips. The only game that he failed to go over was this one, which was December the 1st, earlier this season. Only had 1 rebound in that game. Not quite sure what happened there, but typically pretty consistent when he gets on the board. So let's take a look at a couple of other projections. As I mentioned, this projection was 7.3 rebounds. Pretty big number there for Aaron Gordon. We're going to go over to Fantasy Labs for the next one. This projection, 5.6, so maybe he lands on 5. It could be one of those situations where he ties or pushes, kind of like Paolo Banchero yesterday ended up with exactly 4 assists. Sometimes it happens with some of these player prop lines when they take the hook away, that little 0.5 that you normally see at the end of a player prop. So instead of offering Aaron Gordon at 4.5 or 5.5, they offer him at 5.0 basically. So it could tie, could push. Again, not the worst case scenario. It just means it would make your payout a little bit smaller. It would reduce your slip from like a 6 pick down to a 5 pick. A 5 pick would become a 4 pick, etc. But let's look at a second projection here for Aaron Gordon. We're going to go over to Shot Quality. Shot Quality's got Aaron Gordon projected for 5.26 rebounds. So their projection models have him pretty much locked in around 5 rebounds. But again, there's always upside for him. He could pull in 6. He could pull in 8 like he did in the last game. So we'll just have to wait and see how things play out. I'm going to get you one more projection. This one's going to come to you from LineStar. LineStar's a nice projection tool for NBA and other sports, but they've got Aaron Gordon projected for 6.2 rebounds today, so more than 1 whole rebound higher than where his line's currently sitting at 5 over on PrizePicks. So that's your first pick. Second pick is going to be Derrick Jones Jr. of the Los Angeles Clippers, and I'm looking at his fantasy score. Now, if you're going to be using fantasy score projection models, it's important that you're using FanDuel fantasy score projections, because FanDuel scoring for NBA is the same as PrizePicks scoring. So they're 1-to-1 when it comes to the way that they score fantasy scoring. And for those of you who don't know what fantasy score means or what it is or what it's comprised of, it's a combination of points, rebounds, assists, blocks, and steals, and you get -1 for every time the player turns the ball over. So it's a culmination of all those different categories, statistically speaking, and that's how a player can earn or potentially lose fantasy score. So Derrick Jones Jr. at 13.5 looks kind of low. Now, granted, he's not going to be somebody who's going to be heavily involved typically on offense, but where he really kind of makes his presence felt is on the defensive end, getting some rebounds, maybe collecting an assist or 2, and he will get a couple of buckets, just not a high volume type of guy when it comes to the offense. But let's take a look at where he's projected today over on RotoWire. The top way to play Derrick Jones Jr. for the lean more is going to be the over on his fantasy score. Now we take a look at what he's done here in the 2024 season. His most recent season, 79% of the games that he's appeared in, he has hit for the over. So really, really high hit rate here for Derrick Jones, averaging right around 18.9 fantasy score per game. And he's had some really good numbers against the Denver Nuggets as well over the last 2 seasons. He's played them now a total of 7 times. Out of those 7 head-to-heads, he's gone over in 5 out of 7. So 71% hit rate, averages right around 14.2 fantasy score per game. Put up a nice 17.8 fantasy score number against the Denver Nuggets in that game 1 back on April the 19th. So hopefully Derrick Jones Jr. continues to play well. He's coming off the bench. He's probably their top bench guy, getting about 20 plus minutes per game. So should be in a pretty good position. But he's projected for about 16.6 fantasy score, according to RotoWire's fantasy score projection. So Derrick Jones looking pretty good here. Let's get you another projection. For this one, we'll go back over to Shot Quality and check out their projection for Derrick Jones. They've got him projected for about 16.1 fantasy score. Again, his line is just 13.5 today on PrizePicks. So nice gap or differential between these projection models and the PrizePicks lines. Let's go back over here to LineStar and check out the projection for Derrick Jones there. Punching in his name. They don't actually have a fantasy score projection up for him. So let's go back over here. We'll go and check out FanDuel Research, formerly known as NumberFire. And their projection for Derrick Jones is 16.9 fantasy score, so about 17 fantasy score, putting him over that 13.5 number. So pretty much all the projection models have Derrick Jones projected for slightly more than 13.5 fantasy scores. So I would be leaning toward the over on that one based on what I'm seeing on these models. Now, another player that we're looking at here is Russell Westbrook of the Denver Nuggets. He's sitting out here at 10.5 points, not fantasy points, just regular old points. And at 10.5 points, He's been going over this number at a pretty nice clip in recent games, and in the head-to-heads versus the Los Angeles Clippers this season, he continues to exceed 10.5 points. So this one is a positive expected value play. I'm seeing a lot of money coming in on the over for Russell Westbrook at 10.5 points. So let's go take a look at some of this data here behind Russell Westbrook, starting with RotoWire, of course. Anything Russell Westbrook related is a lean more option according to the RotoWire projection tools. This includes his fantasy score, his points and assists, just the assists on their own, points and rebounds, and even the rebounds and assists. Really, RotoWire's not recommending that you lean less on Russell Westbrook for anything. So we'll just have to see how that ends up playing out. But let's take a look at the points here. He's projected for about 10.92 points. Some sites, such as Sleeper, have him all the way up at 11.5 points. He is coming off of the bench for the Denver Nuggets, kind of filling in as that sixth man. If you take a look at what he's done here for the season, 63% hit rate at going over 10.5 points, averaging about 13.3 points per game. He's done a really good job over the last 10 games or so of going over 10.5 points, 70% hit rate there. So 7 out of his last 10 games, he has gone over 10.5 points, averaging 13.7 in that 10-game span. Take a look at the home games. Really, really impressive numbers there. He's on a 6-game hit streak where he has gone over 10.5 points while playing at home in Denver. So pretty nice to see that. If you go back even further, I mean, he's hit the over now in his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 times out of his last 23 games played at home, he's hit the over on 10.5 points. So very consistent when playing at home. Now, as far as the head-to-heads go, the last 2 times he's played the Clippers, he's had 19 points, more recently 15 points in that game just a couple days ago, game 1. So 2 for his last 2 in the head-to-heads. Overall, this season, he has gone over in just 2 out of 5, though. So the overall hit rate's not so good, but the more recent samples, better for Russell Westbrook. So the over on the 10.5 points looks like a nice move. Take a look at another projection for Westbrook. We're going to go back over to Fantasy Labs and look at their point projection. They've got him at 11.6 points. More than 1 whole point higher than where he's currently sitting at 10.5. So hopefully Westbrook continues to get buckets today. Shot quality's got Russell Westbrook's points at 12.31, so a more generous, higher projection. Projected for about 28 minutes today, so he should see about 25 to 30 minutes, I would say, off the bench for the Denver Nuggets. So 12.3, very good projection. And then we'll also take a look at LineStar. LineStar, another, like I said, reputable projection model. They've got Westbrook projected for about, let's see, just his points. Actually, they don't have just his points on here. Let me look. Let me switch it up. There you go. 14.7 points for Westbrook, according to LineStar. So closer to 15 points. That's a pretty big jump from the 10.5 line that he's currently sitting at. And then also, if we take a look at where he's at over on FanDuel Research, they've got him at 11.9 points, so close to 12 points. So pretty much everything going over here for 10.5 points on Russell Westbrook when it comes to these various NBA player projection models. So that's pick number 4. And the last pick is going to be a little bit more of a controversial one because this one's not getting a lot of love or attention on the sports books. But Karl Anthony Towns over 26.5 points versus the Detroit Pistons tonight. Wanted to give you guys at least one New York Knicks prop or something from that game. But yeah, this one looking like a good option, even though the betting public's not really smashing the over on it. I think there's a number of good reasons why you could potentially roll the dice on this one, and Karl Anthony Towns could put up 27 or more points and assists for you. But taking a look at the RotoWire info on Cat, starting with the projection, you can see that according to the RotoWire projection tools here, pretty much anything Karl Anthony Towns related, most of the props are going to be lean more options. You've got only a couple that are lean less. That includes just the points and his field goal attempts. But we're looking at the points and assists here for Karl Anthony Towns. And when we scroll down here toward the bottom, you're going to see he's projected for about 26.18, a little bit lower than his line at 26.5. But over the last 20 games or so, he's done a really good job of collecting 27 or more points plus assists. Doesn't rebound particularly well against the Detroit Pistons for whatever reason. You can see that the last 5 games, he's gone over in 4 out of the last 5, averaging 29.4 points per game in that 5-game span, 80% hit rate in those games. Against Detroit, he is a perfect 5 for 5. He has gone over in every single matchup against the Detroit Pistons, 4 of which came from this season. There's one game where, it was last season when he was still with the Minnesota Timberwolves, but even if we throw that one out, he's had 28, 29, 30, and 28 points plus assists versus Detroit in their 4 head-to-heads this season, including 28 in that last game, game 1 against the Pistons. So he's perfect, so to speak, against Detroit in his last 5 head-to-heads. And playing at home in New York, puts up some pretty good numbers there as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of his last 10 games played at home, he has gone over 26.5 points plus assists. So looking pretty good. Now, I know the projection for Karl Anthony Towns is only 26.18, let's call it, on RotoWire, but some of the other projections that I found on Karl Anthony Towns are a bit higher, especially this one here on Fantasy Labs, which has him at 28.8 points plus assists. So that puts him over by more than 2.5 PA. So that's a really nice projection. 28.8 versus 26.5. So around 2.5, I should say, not more than, but around 2 points plus assists higher than where he's at on PrizePicks. So that projection looks good. Shot quality, we'll take a look at that projection as well. They've got Karl Anthony Towns at, 29.67 points plus assists, so more than 3 PA higher than where PrizePicks has him at 26.5. So loving that projection there. Let's also look at LineStar. While we have, these tools up, we might as well use them, right? LineStar on Karl Anthony Towns points plus assists, he's sitting out here at 28.3 projected PA versus, again, the line is 26.5. So a lot of good projections here for Karl Anthony Towns to go over 26.5. Like I said, is it technically a positive expected value play? Well, no, not when you factor in like the money's not really coming in on the over. It's more of a flat prop right now in terms of like, it's not positive expected value. It's not negative expected value. It's kind of even money right now on this prop, but this would be one that I would say is just kind of worth rolling the dice on if you're looking for like another pick, a pick from the New York Knicks Detroit Pistons game. But hey, this is the point of the video where I'm done blabbering and I turn things over to you. You guys let me know, are you tailing these picks, fading these picks, liking them, hating them? Comment your favorite player prop down in the comment section below and you could win a free month of Dub Club, a $20 value. All for just being a member of the channel here, hitting the subscribe button, hitting the like button, and commenting your favorite player props, trying to help the next man win more together. Good luck on all your picks, plays, and parlays. I'll be sending some slips out to our Dub Club members here momentarily via Discord. We'll see you in the inside. Peace.